Hey YouTube, what is going on? Chicago Sport Fan 1 coming at you with another Dallas Cowboys video, and I was just thinking how Dallas Cowboy fans really shouldn't be that worried about Kyle Orton making a start this week. I mean, sure, Tony Romo is going to give you the best chance to win, but if you were going to have a backup of any kind, Kyle Orton might be one of the best in the NFL to have backing up your Tony Romo type of quarterback. For the fact on how good Kyle Orton is, he's been a proven pretty good player in the past. The reason why he's really a bench player is because of Josh McDaniels, or actually I should say John Fox, is because of John Fox. If you remember when John Fox was in Denver, they also had a Tim Tebow guy there, and Kyle Orton wasn't having a very good season. Broncos weren't doing very good, and so they put in Tim Tebow. That year, Kyle Orton, he threw eight touchdowns and 7 interceptions with 900 some yards, and he only played I believe 5 games. He only played 5 games. That's really his only bad season, which was his last season as a starter for any team, unless you want to count Kansas City, which was in the same year, and he started 4 games for them, and he looked pretty good. But otherwise, his best year was his first year in Denver, which was 2009. 2009 and 2010, both of those seasons were really good for him, at least mediocre, I would say. He had 3,802 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. They didn't go to the playoffs, but you know, he didn't do that bad. And he had, for a rating that year, he had 86.8 quarterback rating. In 2010, he played 13 games because they ended up starting Tim Tebow the last 3 games, and this was actually his best season. This was. He had a 3,653 yard season, 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and an 87.5 QB rating. He had some really good ones with Chicago too. He had 2 pretty good seasons with Chicago. I mean, then he was young. He only had 1 pretty good season. But that was the year that they traded him. That year he had 2,972 yards, 18 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. I mean, that's what you're going to expect from a young quarterback like Kyle Orton. I mean, the thing that I always liked about Kyle Orton is he's not a guy who's going to lose you the game. He's not one of those high-risk, high-reward players like a Jay Cutler. He's a poor man's Alex Smith. That's what I'd call him. I mean, he can pass the ball down the field, but it's very rare that he will. I mean, if he's gonna pass the ball down the field, it's gonna be in a situation where they need it. Would he come up to deliver in that situation? Probably not. And if so, he'd be very inconsistent. I mean, like game by game, kind of like Alex Smith. If you look at Alex Smith, if the game's on the line, you might want him. Like, let's say in a 2-minute drill, game's on the line, you'll probably want Alex Smith in there. But if we're talking 50 seconds left on the clock, you probably wouldn't want Alex Smith. You probably want more of a guy like Tom Brady or someone that can really drive the ball down the field and throw deep, accurate passes. I mean, but then again, you shouldn't be too worried about Kyle Orton. I may be a little bit biased just because I'm from Iowa, and Kyle Orton is also from Iowa, and he's also a Chicago Bear at one time, and I was always a fan of Kyle Orton. Before the Bears traded him, I was actually surprised that they traded him. When Cutler was in Denver, I wasn't a really big fan of Cutler. I thought he was a bit too confident for the player he was, and I really liked Kyle Orton, and I thought Kyle Orton would end up really tearing it up in Denver, which, I mean, he really didn't, but he didn't do that bad. Just classic Kyle Orton, you know. But yeah, keep that in mind. Now, I don't think that the Cowboys will win this upcoming week, but I don't think it's going to be Kyle Orton's fault. I don't think the Cowboys would have won really with Tony Romo. I know that I've been back and forth on it lately, but I don't think they would have won with Tony Romo either, just because their defense is just terrible. This could be a league worst defense of all time. That's how bad this defense is. And just also the coaching hasn't been very good. But yeah, Dallas Cowboy fans, don't worry about Kyle Orton. Okay? Peace out, everybody. Thanks.